Welcome everybody, I'm ClairV, and this is our What's Blocking You spread. Or should we say, removing the blockages. So, to give you a little back information, we were doing the meditation, and it's like we can't focus, or we can, but we were having a difficult time focusing because we have these blockages. Now, these blockages are not only blocking us from our everyday daily functions, but they're also blocking us from blessings, and they're blocking us from healing. So, by breaking down these walls and removing the blockages, we will be able to meditate better. We'll be able to concentrate better on our daily, on a daily basis, like if we're working or if we're at home. Regardless of the situation, we're going to be able to function better. Our brains will be able to function better once we release these blockages. Not only that, but it will also raise our vibration. Because when we have these blockages, we are not grounded, and we are not, we're just aloof and not all here. And this reading is going to tell us what the blockages are, how these blockages are affecting us and other people around us, and how to get rid of these, how to break down these walls to remove these blockages, and then the blessings that come after removing these blockages. So this is going to be a very detailed, very deep reading, because we are removing blockages. Now, these blockages that are things that have been in our way, on our minds, in our subconscious, affecting us in our daily routines. And they have not only been affecting us, but they've been affecting other people. And we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty and find out exactly how, who, why, and what. So, beginning with these two cards right here. This is the main, these are our main like blockages right here. Now, keening is the act of expressing immense sorrow. Kind of like when a mother loses her child or something. Like, just looking at the card is making me like, oh, I want to cry. Because I feel it. What does she have in her hands? Oh, they're her nails. How pretty. So, she's wailing. She's keening in grief, in pain, in agony. And it says, hold on for just a moment in time, acknowledging before release and liberating what needs to be freed. So that's why I say this reminds me of my stub toe. My stub toe analogy. When like you stub your toe, it sends a signal to your to your brain, through your nervous system to your brain. It's a shock. It's a shock trauma. So it goes right to your nervous system, to your brain, as like a shocking trauma. There's pain. There's this electrifying pain or feeling, and your first reaction would be to scream or curse or cry. And if you say there was a baby in a room or something and you couldn't scream or cry, or say something happened and you were in denial, so you were refusing to act upon this. Now, this is saying that this is your blockage. So either you are keening right now, or you need to be. I say that the lack that you did not do this. You did not do this, or you are in the process of keening right now. And this is, breathe. Breathe in your nose and out your mouth. Okay, so when you ignore this pain and you hold in your reaction, this becomes stored trauma. Now, this stored trauma builds up and builds up and builds up until there's a release. And while it's building up, there's stress, there's anxiety, there's grief, pain, anger, resentment. There's all these negative emotions, feelings, things that we're going through. Now, once we stub our toe, let's stick with that. Once we stub our toe and we release that feeling, it's no longer in there. You're not screaming at, you might curse the table or the curb, whatever you stub your toe on, you might curse that, and you might scream and yell and get mad at that table, but you're not screaming and yelling because of the table. You're screaming and yelling because of the pain that was inflicted upon you at the time you stubbed your toe on the table. So by not healing and releasing these stored traumas, they become major blockages. Let's focus on the reason for this keening. Now, here is a man, the King of Swords. Now, it could be a man in your life, or it could be you, a masculine side of you if you're a female, or it could be you if you're a man. Now, this King of Swords, he is very intelligent. He is very communicative, honest, truthful, blunt. Now, when he's in reverse, this is a lie. This is a lie or something unfair or something mentally, like blockages in your communication or arguments. This is a lot of, especially behind the Five of Wands, this is like real loud screaming arguments, um, fighting. This is very Mars energy, very warish. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, like warriors with their fire. And we have what I assume to be you here with the sword surrounded by like ice. So it's like they're fighting for their passion, but you're fighting for like your mind. Like you're fighting out of not out of emotion, out of logic. Like something unlogical or unreasonable or untrue, unjust. So with all this energy behind this woman right here, it's no wonder why she's keening right now. But if you acknowledge the pain before you release it, you will be free. This will be liberating what needs to be freed. So by expressing your emotions and how you feel, especially when it comes to this King of Swords in reverse, it's like you being passive, like somebody comes to you and confronts you about something and you're like, you don't even want to engage in an argument or any confrontation. You kind of sort of like ignore it. Or it could be total opposite and you could be blunt straight to the core and you could be a total dick about it and use like harsh language and yelling and stuff like that. Because it's the reverse, it can go either end. Now, moving on, this Five of Swords is right after. So we have the Five of Wands. Okay, this is the Five of Wands before her, which is fire energy. You still have that sword, but they're fighting for passion, and it's like you're fighting for logic, or you're fighting logic and passion. Maybe your heart and your head don't match. Maybe your heart's telling you one thing and your logic is telling you another thing. Because there's a definite quarrel here. An imbalance is definite fire, Mars, warlike energy with the Five of Wands. And then on the other side of her, you have the other five. So she's surrounded by fives, which are complication, changes. So we have the Five of Swords in reverse. So it's like this is coming out of his head. So it's like you got 3 swords and 2 of them. So you have these thoughts, okay? Five issues. 3 issues are your own issues that you have with yourself. 1 issue you have with a female, and another issue you have with a male. Now, this could be 3 issues you have with your personal self, and then a major issue with the feminine side of you, which is your emotions and your creative, your sex drive and all that. And then the other issue could be the logic, the reason. Because that's the male energy. So this is action. So there is an action or an illogical situation. And then there is this emotional situation. And then 3 of the major issues are yours that you hold. But we are letting them go. These thought patterns or issues, negative things, ideas, beliefs, something, these issues become you like hang them up. You hang them up on the wall. And they now all become emotional. So now what was all in your head becomes hung on the wall. So now you're vulnerable. Now everything's out in the open. All your cups are there for everyone to see, or at least for you to see right in front of you. So these 3 major issues point with yourself. Self-ceremony. It's like it says, create the visions you desire, take action in the plans that lead to fulfillment. So it's like this action is on hold, and these visions are negative because of the feeling is negative. We didn't release that feeling, so it's still stored. It's stored trauma. So now this feeling becomes stagnant. Now this stagnant feeling becomes a thought, many thoughts, many negative thoughts on ourselves and about others. So now we have an issue with not only others or ourselves, but deep within ourselves. So now you're offered to be balanced, to let it all out by loving yourself. See the doves, and by going through this change, you have the eclipse, and by literally thinking of what you want instead of being stuck in the patterns of thinking what you don't want. It's like you're constantly thinking, oh, I don't want it to be broke, and I don't want to have this issue. But the more you say you don't want to have these things, it's like the more these things occur. So if you release those negative thought patterns, we'll see what happens. But because you didn't release these and you're holding it in, it becomes like one big problem. Or it becomes these are like all your bodies. This was in reverse too. This was all your bodies. Like your mind, body, soul, spirit, your emotions, all the versions of you, all this make up you as a whole. But when it's in reverse, it's like an untruth. Or was it like that? I'm pretty sure that this was the other way. But we'll take it like this. Once we ceremony, like have this self-ceremony and get rid of all these negative thought patterns, then we could be balanced. And you have the opportunity. See, the aces are opportunity. This is an opportunity to have a tangible change. Something physical, a house, a car, something new. You have this opportunity, but with the Four of Cups here, it's like you have your back to it, you're ignoring it, you're focusing on these things, and you're not even paying attention to the things that could be happening. You have all this, and it's not like you don't know. You have all this wisdom. Look at all these books. You have all this wisdom to like defeat this or to come out of this. But you see all the cobwebs on there? It's like you don't even care to find out. Now, how are we going to release a blockage if we don't know what it is? So we must find out what is blocking so we can release it. We must find out what is hurting so we can heal it. We have to find out what's broken so we can fix it. If we don't know what's wrong, we won't be able to make it better. So if we are not all, if all of our chakras aren't firing at the right thing, it's like our car not firing on all cylinders. So it's like when one chakra is all gunked up, it's like all the other ones have to work harder. So it creates like a bigger imbalance. So that's why it's very important for us to release these vibrations, what's blocking us, so that way we can move on. If we don't know what's blocking us, we won't be able to remove it. You have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, you have everything you need. It's just that you're either it's when you're bored. Boredom gets you blockages or creates a gateway for these blockages, or you're too focused on your this stuff over here that you're not even realizing the opportunities that you have to get out of this funk. So let's get out of the funk. Let's see what's in the next row. Okay, so this is what's blocking you and how it's making us feel. So this Ace of Pentacles was originally in reverse. So when an ace is in reverse, when the Ace of Pentacles is in reverse, it's like a loss of a car or a house or something big. Hence, that could be why you are keening. Or you could have lost a part of yourself. And that could be a reason for this. So, how these affect our everyday life and how we are going to release these blockages. Let's figure it out. So, Groundhog. This reminds me of like Groundhog Day, like every day, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. So, when we have the same thing every day, it becomes a pattern. That's why we're going to do these meditations for 25 days and create new patterns. We're going to release what's blocking us so we can raise our vibration and grow and move on from these past traumas and what's going on right now. So, it says, wake up, dear one, from the slumber you find comfort in. The truth is seeing those ready to acknowledge it. The truth is seeking those ready to acknowledge it. So, you have this card right underneath the lie. So it's like you know the lie, or the truth is available to you, but either you're afraid to know the truth, or you're in denial, or you just rather just go on with your everyday life, not acknowledging the truth. So the truth is here. We need to see it. So coming of spring, beneath my feet stir the waking, spiraling surges of warmth that tell of life ready to birth. So with death comes birth. With winter comes spring. So this is coming spring, coming of spring. So this tells me you need a literal strategy, and you have help. You have the knowledge and the help available. You might even need professional help, like a therapist, or maybe a realtor, or a lawyer, or some kind of professional help. So that's not always bad. Let's see if there's any messages here coming of spring. Number 15. Yes, this is preparing for rebirth, reaching for the light, renewal, surge of hope. So, symbolic marks the beginning of the end of winter, letting you know it's time to begin your ascent out of the darkness. Letting you know it's time to begin your ascent out of the darkness. This card often finds you after a challenging situation or an emotional or spiritual crisis. You may have recently experienced great shedding of what no longer serves you through the dissolution of a relationship or a dramatic end to a chapter in your life story. You're about to enter the stage of rebuilding from the ashes and can begin to allow hope and faith to enter your spirit again. This is a positive sign if you're looking for new love or a new job. This card indicates there are many prospects waiting for you when you're ready to put yourself out there again. Perhaps the most important meaning of this card is that you have a wide open lane to fill your life with anything you choose. The possibilities for where you go next are endless, and you should entertain all opportunities that come your way, because any of them are likely to yield positive results. So that's what we were saying over here. Like, you have all this knowledge, all this everything. You just have to be willing to take it. You have many roads to go. You just have to be willing to go. Now, how do we get there? Cinnamon rolls, number 14. Warm my heart. All deserving comfort readies my heart. So, yes, you deserve comfort, love, warmth, cinnamon buns, cinnamon rolls, magic. This is breaking bread with the ones you love, sharing, possibly with the people who are helping you. So this also tells you of all the opportunities you have. Now, when you take these blockages and turn them into, like, you're taking a problem and making a solution out of it. Taking a tragedy and making it a blessing. Taking something very horrific and making it something very beautiful. And like like this card says, like the options are limitless. There is no limit. All that's available to you. Okay, so we gotta go in. Forged in fire, your strength was crafted through adversity, a mastery only you behold. So this is telling you that from this, you've gained strength, wisdom, self-love, and you are now digging yourself out of this hole. You're now seeing the light. But it's like, it's not the real light. It's a fire. This reminds me of that allegory of the cave thing. You know, with the prisoners, they were all in this cave, chained up with the fire behind them, and all they saw was the shadows going by. So they thought there's big, huge people, and all the shadows were like carrying different objects like books and dogs and birds and feathers and candles and wood. They were cups. They were carrying all these objects. So these people that were chained in a cave since birth only knew of this fire as the light. And one day, one of the people got free and broke out of the cave. And they were like, holy crap, this light is bright. I thought our light was bright. They thought that was the only light in the world, that the fire was the only light. And now, when he breaks out of this cave, he realizes that there's sun, there's actual real sunlight. That fire isn't the source of light. There's actual sunlight. There's actual trees. There's grass. And there's no ending. There's no walls. The brick wall is knocked down. There's no walls. Once you come out of that cave, that brick is no longer there. There's nothing blocking their perception. So this guy who broke free went back into the cave to free his family and to free his friends, and he's like, hey, that's not the real light. There's other light. There's sunlight. And the other prisoners were like, what are you talking about? And he's like, come on, come outside. And they're like, no, I like this light. This is our light. And they're like, no, there's other light. There's sun. There's other grounds. There's life outside. And they're like, no, this is life. This is life. We're chained up in this cave. This fire is our light source, our heat. We don't know what you're talking about. There's no other light. And the people literally wanted to hurt him or kill him for telling them that there was something else beyond that. Because of their cognitive dissonance, they couldn't understand that there was something else other than what they know. And then when somebody else told them about it, they didn't want to believe it because that's all they know. That's why you should keep a mind open to everything but attached to nothing. Anything's possible. So the truth is there. You just have to be willing to accept it. Moving along, Amethyst, number 1, the first card in the deck. It says, go where your spirit dwells, where your sight is clear and your breath is liberated. Look at that. Talking about that. You need to go where you could see clearly and where your breath is liberated. Meaning that you can talk freely and people not get mad, and you can express your feelings so that way you no longer hold them inside. Amethyst is also, amethyst in Greek means not drunk. So they call amethyst the or I call amethyst the sobering stone. So if anyone is fighting with addictions or alcohol or anything of the sort, amethyst will help you let that go. And that's also saying that this is a blockage that needs to be removed. This is intuition, spiritual connection, and stress relief. So this is our meditation, because this is like experiencing a very emotional or stressful time. So amethyst is considered to be both a stone of spiritual connection and helpful in seeking sobriety. Oh, look, they say it here, which suggests the answer to your question is likely a balance between spiritual and practical means. Taking time to clear your mind in a meditative practice could help in seeking a solution to your problem or could provide inspiration for your next steps. However, it is still up to you to put the guidance you have received into practice. So this is connecting with cosmic intelligence. Has no useful power if you are unwilling or unmotivated to act upon this gift of wisdom. Trust that your intuition is correct and will guide you to the right outcome. Additionally, this card encourages you to find productive ways to manage stress and warns of the destructive habit of playing the victim. Perhaps you even feel powerless against your impulses, but giving into temptation is likely to lead into further heartache. While it may not be easy, there is a way out of your circumstance, because deep down you know what to do, even if you don't want to do it. So yeah, it might be hard, it might be difficult, but you know what you have to do. And that's why we started this meditation. Bridget's doll. Thread by thread, I weave my desires, working as one with the source of creative power. So this card talks about Bridget's doll. Now Bridget has a doll and they place it in a certain spot, like for protection. Let me get the story so I can read it right. There's Bridget, and there's Bridget's doll. Good favor, happy life, increased finances, and creativity. Okay, here we go. During ancient times, fertility dolls were crafted in honor of the goddess Bridget and placed in small beds near the home's earth to welcome good luck, herald light, and of course encourage fertility and growth. Receiving this card suggests fortune has entered your orbit and can indicate a prosperous and joyful time ahead. It may also suggest financial stability and a happy home. For a reading about career, this card can mean a promotion, likely with a significant pay increase. In a reading about love, this card can mean a harmonious relationship. Both partners are supported and nourished. In general, this card represents a happy life that seems to be blessed by the goddess herself. So it's a good sign for beneficial favor. That beneficial favor will be with you. So enjoy this cycle of happiness. Happiness tends to attract more happiness. So that's what we were talking about this one. When you focus on the negative, more negative comes. So this is why I say even fake it till you make it kind of sort of thing. Because even if, like it says, happiness begets more happiness. So once you're happy, you just get more happy. So pretend to be you're happy until you're really happy, and then you know what I mean? Happiness is within. So anything you start in the next coming weeks, it will definitely prosper. This is saying start it right now, because you have help. You definitely have help, and maybe this is like teaching a course or something, or maybe going to a class. maybe a group meditation. This is our meditation, because when we're all meditating and we're all focusing on the same thing, it increases it. It's like the Akashic records, it goes out. And if more people are doing it, it makes a bigger splash. The bigger the splash, the bigger the ripple. So, moving on. All right, so here, you see these rainbows right here, and then this rainbow right here, it's like you are protected and loved. And this is a 9. And another 9. So definitely new beginnings. And here's our other 5. I think all the 5s are here. We're missing 1 5. What 5 are we missing? We have Wands, Swords, and Cups. So we're missing the 5 of Pentacles. Oh, we got the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. So this tells me, yes, that you're safe, loved, and protected. So maybe you were a victim of something, but that don't mean you need to play the victim, because just because something happened to you doesn't mean that you have to let that become you. That's just a circumstance that will pass once we release this stored trauma. This will be released. But it's like you need to take your kid or you and protect it from the negative thoughts or negative people. And then we have the 5 of Cups next. And this reminds me of flamingos. And the flamingo is a group effort. So maybe this is a group of some sort coming together, like at a certain time every day. 8:20. So 8:20 or 3:40. This is also the 2nd and the 5th house. So this is emotion, 2nd and 5th. Emotion about 5 is creative siblings. So, no, that's 3 siblings. Yeah, 5 is the creativity. Let me see, because it was like this. So this is the 8th and the 10th house. Okay. Or 10, 10, or 10 of 2, 150. So maybe these times mean something to you. And the 10th house and the 8th. So this is making a public or spiritual connection with your changes. So in order to go down and change, because that's the house of death and sickness. So in order to deal with that, you have to be connected to the spirit and to the public. You cannot isolate during these times, because then, you're falling back into this thing. So this is telling us that we need to be involved in a group, possibly look at your birth chart. Oh, here it is, the 5 of Pentacles. We have all the 5s out on the board. I didn't even notice that. There's the 5 of Pentacles, the next card right there. Wow. So we do have all the 5s. So that's telling you something. Blockages, blockages, blockages. So, to remove the blockages. So she's going from this emotional cry. Now, this water has to stay flowing. If you do not cry it out, it becomes stagnant. And you do not want that to happen. So you want to take, and if you can't cry it out, write it out. Definitely write it out, devotional. So this Five of Pentacles is getting out of the house, even in the rain, even in the snow. Now is the time for seasonal depression too. So this is bundling up, even if it's snowing and raining, to get outside, because that's where you'll connect with the spirit, with God, with yourself. So even in the worst weather, still make it like a daily routine to go for a 10-minute walk or something like this. This will help you remove these blockages. So even if it's 10 minutes a day, go outside, cry it out, remove the bad stuff. Devotional. There's something so intimate when letters reflect the tongue. In times of introspection, when I'm at my most vulnerable and revealing all that lives in me. So that's what you have to do. Get it out. You have to, this reminds me of that like 10-minute exercise. We were talking 10 minutes, 10 minutes. So something about every 10 minutes. What do you do every 10 minutes? We have to change that. Like, for instance, in my case, I smoke a cigarette like every 10 minutes. So instead of smoking a cigarette every 10 minutes, make it like 20 minutes. Like hold off an extra 10 minutes for another one. You know what I mean? Do something like that. Like if you never spend any time outside, start with 5 minutes and work your way up to 10 minutes. Start at 10 minutes. This is making new patterns. And it starts every day. So every day for 28 days, we're going to start a new pattern. Crying it out, going outside for 10 minutes, and this exercise for 10 minutes. So I did this. So what you do is you get a pen and a paper, and you don't worry about grammar, spelling, sentences, nothing. You just sit down, preferably after meditation when your mind is clear, and write down everything you think, everything you see, or maybe before meditation, when everything's in your head, write it all down. Take 10 minutes, set a timer, take 10 minutes, and just write everything out. And then take it and burn it. Or flush it down the toilet with your shit. So, yes, devotion. Very, very good to write about it. Because that's one way of healing and getting it out. Let's see if this book says anything else you need to know. Introspection, reflection, journaling. Yes, that's what it says. You wouldn't dare to utter some things out loud that you can write down. So maybe there's some things that you're afraid of saying, or that you don't want to say, that you can write down. This card is also saying that now is not a good time to make any major decisions, especially because of all this. We want to remove the blockages and then go on. So maybe if you have a decision between one thing and another thing, write down the pros and cons, something of that sort. So this brings the Three of Swords, which this reminds me of good, evil, black, white. This reminds me of a whole bunch of work that just got blown away. Like you just got done writing this big, huge thing, or counting all your money, and then big gust of wind comes and blows it all over. So And the Three of Swords is also the broken heart card in the Rider-Waite Tarot. So this is the pain in your heart because of this. You lost a fish. You had it and you lost it. It slipped right out your fingers, right out your cup. You're also going in the past emotionally. So maybe this Three of Swords is a past relationship. Pages also bring news. And when it's in reverse, it's not bringing good news. So maybe you received not so good news. That broke your heart. But either way, this Nine of Cups with this rainbow and this rainbow around it, this is saying that everything's going to be okay. You are kicking up your feet and you are relaxing with some hot tea. And you're looking at all the things you have and how you're grateful for every single thing that you have. So maybe write a list of all the things that you're grateful for, because you have many, many things to be grateful for. At least 9. So write a list of at least 9 things that you're grateful for, and then the next day, write 9 more, and then 9 more. And we have the Three of Wands in reverse. So you're done waiting, or you're waiting in limbo. Looks like his dunce hat is off. It's like you lost your magic. Say that you lost your magic because of the injustice. Here's the truth. Now here's this justice. This is what's going to make everything all better. This is the guidance and what happens after you remove these blockages. Now we find the truth, and there's justice, which justice is not always fair, but karma always comes around. And with justice upright, if there is like a legal problem, it does seem to be ending in good favor. You might have to spend money, but you're not going to jail. You know what I mean? Or if that's the case, it's not going to be long if you do. Like this is 3, so 3 weeks, 3 months. So within 3 weeks, you'll have to pay some money or something. And this is the King of Pentacles. Now the King of Pentacles is a very like he has his own business. This is like the path of truth he's walking on. Like once you find the truth, once you get out of this justice, see his light shining, and this is the path right there is justice. He's walking right out from it. And now you actually gain money. You actually have, and if it's not money, then you actually have something tangible that you could say, I did this. I did this. You know what I mean? So this is like this could be a new job. This is very, the King of Pentacles knows, this is like, it's very slow energy. Very strong, but slow. The King of Pentacles is very patient, and he knows that in time, his goal will be achieved, and as long as he will keep working for it. He'll keep working for his goal until it's achieved. So that's why we have to set goals up here. That's why it's good to set goals, because then we know what we're waiting for. And I always say, once you know what you're waiting for, waiting becomes easy. So it's like patience here. We gain patience, and we know that patience leads to good things. That once we keep on this path, we're gonna walk away with something very, very big blessings, beautiful blessings. So the Nine of Pentacles is that's my single lady, and she is very independent. She is very smart. She's reading this big book here. She's very smart. She's reading. She has an owl on her shoulder. An owl signifying wisdom. Or is it eagle? Oh, maybe it's a vulture. It looks like some kind of vulture. So she's good. She has the patience to train a vulture. She's good. That's why you need the patience, because it's like you gotta train your mind. You gotta like train the impossible almost. And your brain is not impossible, but nothing's impossible. But this is, you need to embody the energy of this King of Pentacles here on the 9. And this is saying, I can do it all by myself. I can complete any task, any goal. I have the knowledge, I have the ghana, I have the will, the hope, your spirit, like all your chakras are connected. This is also walking in the grass and bare feet to stay grounded. This reminds me, I keep on seeing a cone in the middle of the street. Like one of them cones that they put here, like if there's a hole in the ground and then you have to go around it. So proceed with caution, possibly. And then we have the Page of Swords. Now, like I said, the pages bring good news. Well, this one, not so good, but this is good news. And this is learning. This could be a young man. This single lady could meet a younger man. A very like swift communicator, possibly a Virgo or a Gemini. Something like that. An air sign. Aquarius. So yes, or if you're this younger man, you might meet an older woman, an older independent woman. This is also telling you, if you're this Knight of Pentacles, to be single, to make this like you can do it on your own. You don't need anybody. This is what this is telling you. And it's possibly telling you to, see how she's reading the book and looking towards the Page of Swords. This is possibly telling you to use your communication skills and think logically about the situation. Because the pages, the Swords is logical and she's practical. So she has this earth energy, very practical, but she's looking towards the logic. So this is like learning about the brain. And that's what we're going to be doing too. We're learning about the brain. We're learning about our traumas, learning about our blockages, learning about how to see how he's like that. Learning how to stand, how to defeat, how to defense, how to be defensive, how to speak, how to communicate. This is very swift. So this puts a little pep in the Pentacles step because she's like slow and patient. So this puts a little bit of pep in her step, a little bit of air to her earth. So yeah, gust of wind, knowledge. This is possibly school too. Maybe you're going to school to be a lawyer or communication, something of that sort. Maybe you're learning about that. Yeah, he is ready to take on the world. And this is you embodying that. Now that we remove these blockages, you're like, standing tall, ready to take on the world. This is very good energy to embody. And the Nine of Cups is like the best card in the deck. This is like the wish card. So it's like all you have to do is sit back and wish. That's why it's like be careful what you wish for. Don't think negative because negative is going to happen. All you have to do is just sit back and wish and look. Boom. There, it'll appear. Especially when you're connected with the spirit and doing these things. So yes, this is how to remove blockages. So we learned what's blocking you and how it's making you feel and how to release it and what blessings are going to come afterwards. So yes, hopefully after this we'll be able to meditate a little deeper and concentrate a little bit more. Because once we have all this stuff on our mind, it creates stress and you're not able to concentrate. And what happens when you can't concentrate? You're not going to be able to work. You can't think. You can't do anything. So it's like, what next? So nines are also the end of something. So you know what they say, endings, new beginnings. I want to read the Nine of Cups right here. So yes, be careful about overindulging. And this comes right near the Amethyst card. Dissatisfaction, resting on our laurels and selfishness. So even though we are alone, we don't want to be selfish. We don't want to rest on our laurels. We still want to keep building. And definitely be careful for what you wish for because it conjures up. And we definitely don't want to be lazy at this time. This is like reverse. So this is like telling you to get up and do something because like an object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion. That's proven. So even if you don't feel like get up and like do wacky jacks or like something like that to get your heart pumping so that way you want to keep on moving. All right, I think that's all I see. Reading books at this time too will help. Like there's practices for our memory, and you can like read a page out of a book and then stop and then look into like what you just read, how was it, and that'll help build up your brain too. Our patterns, I think we got it all. We have help. love, share love, act in love, think love, share love, give love. The more you give, the more you receive. I think that's all I see here. Thank you all. Oh, wait, we didn't do this one. This is the last one, the top of it. May the serpent wake, bellowing with the rising flame and beckoning the wisdom that awaits your return. So yes, wisdom is waiting for you to return. It's like you know better, but you're not doing better. So wisdom's waiting for you to come back, Bridget. So let's look. Number 10, Bridget. Maybe there's one last message in here for you. Many manifestations embracing all your parts, authenticity. So yeah, Bridget, one of the most complex and beloved deities of Celtic mythology, is known by many names, including Bridget, Brigida, and Brigantia. Her love is equally abundant. She is a goddess of fire and water and is connected with healing, craftsmanship, metalsmithing, art, agriculture, poetry, motherhood, children, life, and death. She is depicted as being many ages, having been known as each aspect of the triple goddess, maiden, mother, and crone. But to say she is one thing would be to diminish her beauty and power. Unlike many other pagan deities, she is one of the few to survive Christianity's attempt to erase her influence. Bridget's appearance in your reading means it is okay to be more than one thing, to change your mind, or even be something to one person and a different thing to another. Who you are at work requires a very different person from who you are with friends. Who you were in the past does not have to be who you are today. This card validates your desire to take a different path, but also invites you to embrace all parts of who you are, giving each part of your personality room to shine when appropriate. In the rare event this card falls from the deck in reverse, which is not, so you don't have to worry about that. But I will read it. It says, because you might be allowing people to put you in a box which you don't belong. Being true to yourself is your greatest power. So yes, that's the main thing. She's up top. If you are true to yourself, all of these cards, problems, blessings will turn, all your problems will turn around, all your blessings will turn out. Stay true to yourself, Bridget. That's what you want to do. Stay true to yourself, and all will be perfect. Or at least we'll start the process of healing the heart and learning to use 100% of our brain. And it starts right now by unblocking all what blocks us, by removing the blockages. And there you have it. Let me know how this resonated with you, if you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for our next meditation of exploring the brain, the body, the mind, and the soul. Thank you all so very much.